they ain't gonna let me have that. Here, take this note. You be a little boy walking down the street with liquor and cigarettes, and your neighbors be going, that's a good little boy right there.
We need a little levity right about now. So we're rolling out the red carpet for comedy royalty. D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Lunel, Dion Cole, Martin Lawrence, and a surprise guest appearance. It's going up Thursday, February 26th in downtown LA at the Grammy Museum. An unforgettable afternoon of stories, celebration, and yes, plenty of laughs. Because let's be real, these legends don't just tell jokes. They have changed the game, opened doors, and made history while making us smile.
You gotta go to child support court. You gotta get there real early in the morning. You see brothers going into court. You see them come out 3 hours later. I can't pay this. Let me talk to you, baby. Please, let me talk to the witness, Your Honor. Let me talk to the witness. Brother be working for 3 weeks, get his check is $43.
This year, for the first time ever, we have set aside a limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon. They are going to go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. So, if you want a single ticket, or if your company or organization wants to sponsor a table, move swiftly and get to KBLA1580.com right now. All these comedy giants in one room on one stage at the same time? Stop it! This event is going to sell out quicker than right now and sooner than at once. KBLA Talk 1580's annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. It's gonna be legendary, just like them.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
You got to laugh the pain away.
In the Ferrari or Jaguar, switching 4 lanes with the top down, screaming out, money ain't a thing.
Bubble hard in the double law, flashing the rings with the window crack. Holla back, money ain't a thing.
Jigga, I don't like it if it don't gleam. In the hell with the price, but the money ain't a thing.
Put it down hard for my dogs that's locked in the bang. When you hit the bricks, new whips, money ain't a thing. Come on.
Yeah, I wanna floss with us. Come on. All across the board, we burn it up. Drop a little paper, baby, toss it up. Slacking on your pimpin', turn it up. See the money ain't a thing.
Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center Black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling Black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
Kaching, my guest for this hour, and also my guest for Wealth Building Wednesday, is Dr. Melina Abdullah. She is a professor of Pan-African Studies at Cal State LA, a mother of 3, also the director of Black Lives Matter Grassroots, lead organizer for BLM LA, and one of the original, part of the original formation that created Black Lives Matter, the organization and the movement on the ground here in LA. Dr. Melina Abdullah, why would you have Dr. Melina Abdullah for Wealth Building Wednesday? What you say? Well, we're about to find out. Good morning, Dr. Abdullah.
Hey, Dominic, can you hear me okay?
I do now, yes. I absolutely do.
Okay. Yeah, my sound is going in and out, so I hope I'm coming through okay.
No, you sound clear.
Good
I
morning.
wonder if it's our phone, because somebody said that yesterday. But anyway, good morning.
Yeah, it's sounding like you're underwater. Maybe I can hang up and call right back in. I'm sorry.
No worries. Actually, you sound great on the air, but we want you to be able to hear as well. So when we talk about Wealth Building Wednesday, we're looking at how do we support Black-owned, BIPOC-owned, socially innovative businesses, meaning businesses who have a positive impact on the greater good as part of their mission. We also talk about how to avail the business owners and entrepreneurs who listen to this station of opportunities to improve, to get money, whatever, to network, all the different things. We support building Black and BIPOC generational wealth and knowledge. And so what does that have to do with Black Lives Matter, Grassroots, BLMLA, Dr. Melina Abdullah? Well, one of the things that you may not know is that you can support nonprofits like BLM through their merch. I think we have Dr. Melina Abdullah back. Good morning again.
Good morning. Now you sound clear. Good morning.
Yay.
Yes.
I guess
You can support us through our merch. Absolutely. I heard that.
I guess we got Cash Patel off the third line, and now we're nice and clear.
Right. I know. That's us going, it's the government. It's the government.
It's always the government.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about the merch. I know this is something we never discuss, but in the context of a Wealth Building Wednesday, this is one way that many nonprofits raise funds, especially in this environment we're in right now, where grants and funding and DEI programs that help nonprofits are going away.
Yeah, it's doing it again, but I made a lot of that out. So it's really important that we think about how movements are supported, that movements have to be supported by us, by the people. And I know that a lot of folks say, well, movements get grants. Black Lives Matter Grassroots has actually never gotten a foundation grant, has never gotten a corporate grant. And it's not that we don't welcome it. We think foundations should be supporting our work. But if you want to stay true to who you are, if you want to be energetically Black, but also, radical in your stance, saying that systems have to be reformed, it's very, very difficult to receive funding for things like that. When we began to say that we don't want to just reform police, we want to defund police, and we want to invest in resources that actually keep communities safe, that's a threat to the system that all of these foundations and corporations are connected to. We are explicitly anti-capitalist, and we believe in Black cooperative economics. That's a threat to the system. So then you can't go and double back to Walmart and say, can you give us some money? So where our money comes from is regular people like me and you and my mother digging in our pockets and saying, here's $20. We literally, we don't pass a hat, but we pass a basket at our meetings. And that's how we're resourced. And so if people have money to donate, then we say invest it in the movement. And if they have merch they want to buy, they can go to BLM Grassroots. We have some really great stuff on there. We have Black History Matters shirts, which with Black History Month coming up, you can buy your Black History Matters shirt. When we say abolish ICE, we always say don't say abolish ICE without talking about local law enforcement and police. And so we have shirts that say abolish the police, right? We have FTP shirts, all of that. And so that's another way that you can support movement. We got quarter zips that say BLM Grassroots. So all of that is
and little baseball jersey. I mean, there's just a lot of really cute merch. It's not like, a T-shirt and that's it. There's a lot of stuff. And then when special events like Black Women Are Divine come up, which is coming up in a couple months, you can get all the purple Prince-inspired Divine gear. So I just think, and I think that if you like any nonprofit, look at their merch and think about gifting that to someone if you got a birthday or a thing, or you want to support. I know people are tight on money, but if you are going to shop for stuff or you want to make a donation and get something for you, I think it's a great way to help build wealth for those folks that do the work to protect us and our community. And where do they find said merch?
Sure. So at BLM Grassroots, if you go to blmgrassroots.org, you can click on merch, and I think there's a pop-up right now. So blmgrassroots.org has all our merch, and all our merch is created by, we believe in supporting Black, buying Black from end to end. So all our merch is by Black vendors.
Yeah, which is amazing. And so I just wanted to put that call out there. Every one of us right now, I think, is going to have to do a little bit more to make sure that the organizations and institutions that we rely on continue to exist. Folks are literally under attack, and I think we're barely seeing the beginning of it. When you see these executive orders and special letters that the president has sent out, basically threatening nonprofits and specifically activists, specifically Black Lives Matter by name, do you feel like this is the beginning of a longer campaign, or do you think it's more of a warning shot, more of a taco moment, Trump always chickens out moment?
I think it's a real threat. And in fact, the column that'll come out tomorrow in the LA Sentinel is about this, right? It's about, I believe Donald Trump is trying to create a new generation of political prisoners. And I think that it is absolutely an attempt to put down movement, and we have to take a very clear stance around where we are. We can't be, part of it is absolutely to punish people like our Black Lives Matter grassroots organizers in Twin Cities. The co-founder of that chapter is Chantel Allen, who many of our listeners know because she was one of the people who was arrested along with our longtime comrade, Nikema Levy Armstrong, for doing that church protest. Remember, they protested inside of City's church last week because the so-called pastor is also the local director of ICE. And so the Trump administration, they directed both the arrests of Chantel and Nikema, but then when a judge was going to release Chantel and Nikema, the Trump administration, Pam Bondi, personally called and had their cases transferred to a different judge, put them in a different jail to try to get them unreleased. And thankfully, they are home, they are safe. But I think that the Trump administration, the Trump regime's attempt is to create a new generation of political prisoners, and we can't be intimidated out of the work. I think that what keeps us safe is more of us in the work, more of us invested in the work financially, but also with our bodies on the streets, or on Friday, our bodies not in the streets, right? No shopping, no work, no school on Friday.
Yeah.
To stand in solidarity. Yeah.
No, just completing the thought. We can talk more about that when we come forward. The general strike. I also want to talk about what went down yesterday at the press conference in support of the family of Keith Porter Jr. More straight ahead on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominic DePrima when we come forward.
Hey, KBLA delegation, you know what's better than laughing? Laughing while celebrating the legends who made us laugh in the first place. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to present our annual Black History Month luncheon. And this year, we're honoring comedy greats, trailblazers who broke barriers, and funny bones at the same time.
You had to grow up early when we was growing up because your parents were seen to the store to buy. You was too young to buy. I want you to go to the store, get me a fifth of gin and a pack of cigarettes. Mama, I'm two, they ain't gonna let me have that. Here, take this note. You be a little boy walking down the street with liquor and cigarettes. And your neighbors be going, that's a good little boy right there.
We need a little levity right about now. So we're rolling out the red carpet for comedy royalty. D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Lunel, Dion Cole, Martin Lawrence, and a surprise guest appearance. It's going up Thursday, February 26th in downtown LA at the Grammy Museum. An unforgettable afternoon of stories, celebration, and yes, plenty of laughs, because let's be real, these legends don't just tell jokes. They have changed the game, opened doors, and made history while making us smile.
You gotta go to child support court. You gotta get there real early in the morning. You see brothers going into court. You see them come out 3 hours later. I can't pay this. Let me talk to you, baby. Please, let me talk to the witness, Your Honor. Let me talk to the witness. Brother be working for 3 weeks, get his check is $43.
This year, for the first time ever, we have set aside a limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon. They are going to go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. So, if you want a single ticket, or if your company or organization wants to sponsor a table, move swiftly and get to KBLA1580.com right now. All these comedy giants in one room on one stage at the same time? Stop Rapid. This event is going to sell out quicker than right now and sooner than at once. KBLA Talk 1580's annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. It's gonna be legendary, just like them.
What's up? What's up?
You got to laugh the pain away.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Angela was. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $80,000. Felicia was having health problems, got behind on her taxes, interest and penalties were adding up. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $15,000. Civic Tax Relief is a professional tax negotiation firm that can protect you from the IRS. If you're getting collection letters, call Civic Tax Relief for a free consultation. They will go to work helping you discover all the relief programs you may qualify for free. James owed the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief represented him against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, he did not owe the IRS anything. If you are in trouble with the IRS, call Civic Tax Relief for your free consultation now. 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257. Get a free consultation and real tax relief. Call 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
Continuing right now with Dr. Melina Abdullah and me, Dominique DePrima. Dr. Abdullah, you were referencing this general strike that's being called for Friday. And talk about, it sounds like you're in support of it. I've heard some folks saying that doesn't really make a difference. We saw it happen, a version of that happen in Minnesota with over 700 businesses shutting down and thousands of people calling off work and getting in the streets. Why do you think, what is this meant to do, and why do you think it's worth supporting?
Sure. So I think it's really important that we understand, especially for the sit this one out folks, that they understand that the strike was called for by Black students. Black students in Minneapolis have asked the world to stand up. So the BSU, Somali students have asked us to engage because they are under attack. So all the folks who say we're not doing stuff for, migrants, these are Black students asking for our support. So I'm going to pretty much do anything that students ask me to do. I think it's important that we understand what the origin is. 2, general strikes and, financial voting with our dollars is always impactful. And so this idea that it doesn't make an impact, I don't know where that rhetoric is coming from. Where is that true? When has that ever been true? If we look at, boycotts on Starbucks, we see what's happening with Starbucks profits. If you think about what's been happening around the Target boycotts, right, we can see huge impacts. And so economic boycotts are always really important, and I think it's a great strategy as a warning shot for the general strike that's been called for around the ICE invasion of communities. And I think that as we move towards general strike, and it's really interesting to hear even elected officials like, Mayor Johnson out of Chicago and Isaac Bryan here in California say that it's time for a general strike. And labor leaders, I'm a delegate to the LA County Federation of Labor, and there's very few people that I go, that's my president, but Yvonne Wheeler is my president, right? To hear Yvonne Wheeler say that, we have to move towards general strike, I think that this is good practice, and it's a warning shot around what a general strike can look like and how it impacts these white capitalist corporations that rely on our dollars to make their profit. But they're going to get it if communities keep being attacked the way that we are right now.
Yeah. So I was arguing with someone, I can't even remember who it was right now, who was saying, well, when you do that, you have this negative impact on the economy, on businesses, that, many times it's the communities of color that suffer more when we have these kinds of strikes.
Right. So when we do Black Xmas for Black Lives Matter Grassroots, we always say build Black, buy Black, bank Black. So one, we do want to divest from capitalism and a consumer frenzy that we're whipped up into. We don't need to buy as much stuff as we buy from anybody. And this goes back. I'm sorry.
Oh,
This
I was just
goes
laughing.
back
Yeah,
to-
you're right. We don't need to buy as much stuff.
Right. This goes to the point that you were making about investing dollars instead in organizations. So you don't need to buy a whole bunch of bull crap, right? But if you do, then buy from non-corporate entities. Buy from, we get our T-shirts. I said all our merch is sourced from Black merchants, right? Get your T-shirts from Public Statement Apparel. We order our hoodies from one of the businesses that was burned down in the Altadena fires, right? And so we make sure that we support Black-owned businesses. But if you are deliberate in what you do with your dollars, you can make sure that Walmart feels it and that Black-owned businesses, small Black-owned businesses, are not harmed. So I think we just have to be really intentional.
Yeah, and that's this Friday. They're saying no work, no school, and this is. I didn't realize that that Alex Pretty was a union member. Lee Saunders made a statement. He's the president of ASME, which is a Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. So this is going to be. I think it looks like it's going to be quite massive. When you get labor stepping in on that level, it looks like it's gonna be quite big. So
Yeah.
So yesterday, Black Lives Matter LA delivered a petition in support of the demands of the family of Keith Porter Jr., who was murdered on New Year's Eve, allegedly by an off-duty ICE officer named Brian Palacios. What happened? More than one thing happened at that press conference. And we've got just about 3 minutes here, but we'll continue after news, traffic, and sports as well.
Yeah. So we had a packed house in front of the LAPD headquarters. We filled up every seat inside the police commission meeting. We attempted to deliver a petition that's been signed by more than 18,000 people now, demanding that LAPD arrest Brian Palacios, the ICE agent who murdered Keith Porter, murdered this Black father of two, murdered this worker. We demanded an arrest. We demanded that his name be put forward for prosecution by the DA. And we demanded an end to the character assassination of Keith Porter. No one was paying attention, not the police commission, not the police chief, but the community was organized. There were dozens of organizations standing in solidarity, from Black Lives Matter Los Angeles to Color of Change to Centro CSO to $1 Million Hoods, Black Worker Center. Lots of other folks. I shouldn't have started with a roll call because it was dozens and dozens of organizations. Ultimately, they didn't even receive the physical copy of the petition because we're not allowed to approach the dais. Instead, they surrounded those of us who were there to lift the name Keith Porter with cops with guns, including the family of Keith Porter, was surrounded by cops with guns. And it just speaks to why community has to stay organized and has to make demands, including a demand that if the police chief isn't going to do his job, which is to keep community safe, Brian Palacios is a danger, then he got to go. He got to go. And I guess we can pick up on what that means, but I think that there needs to be political consequences for those who enable the theft of Black life. And we remember that LAPD is the most murderous law enforcement unit in the country, and that we've seen a 70% surge in police shootings by LAPD since Jim McDonnell has taken over as chief over the will of community. Community said, not Jim McDonnell. He's an ICE collaborator. He's a racist. He's a brutalizer. He's corrupt. And Karen Bass chose to appoint him anyway.
And so if the physical petition doesn't get handed over, where does it go? Did you give them the digital petition? I think it was at 18,000. Is that right? Signatures. I think we have lost Dr. Abdullah here, but I'm pretty sure we will get her back on. Something, maybe our phone is, acting crazy. But I guess they can always go online and check it themselves. But to me, the fact that you can't approach the dais means that somebody, one of the dozens of cops they have at those meetings that are being paid by us, the taxpayers, to stand around at police commission meetings, should come and take that petition and hand deliver it to the chief of police. We will continue this conversation after news, traffic, and sports exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A man is in custody after spraying an unknown substance on Congresswoman Ilhan Omar during a Minneapolis town hall. He reportedly yelled, "You must resign," before being restrained.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Omar wasn't injured, and the suspect faces a third-degree assault charge. Nicki Minaj is headed to Washington to join President Trump at a summit launching his Trump Accounts savings plan, which would give children a $1,000 deposit at birth. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Senator Ted Cruz will also be in attendance. And Kanye West returns to Mexico this weekend for his first shows there in 18 years. His Yay Live tour streams on VIX January 30th and 31st at 9 p.m. Eastern. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Another win for the Clippers. They put together an impressive 115-103 victory at Utah Tuesday night for their 9th win in the last 10 games. Kawhi Leonard dropped 21 points. Chris Dunn had 5 of the Clippers' 10 steals. The Clippers are now just 2 games below 500. They're at Denver Friday night. The Lakers are at Cleveland tonight. LeBron tends to get excited when he plays in Cleveland as an opposing player. He's 9-2 in Cleveland with the Lakers and Miami Heat. In those 11 games, LeBron is averaging 31.6 points. If you want to see how motivated LeBron will be in his hometown area, it's a 4 p.m. tip-off local time on ESPN. Top 5 women's college basketball teams in this week's top 25 rankings: UConn, 19-1 UCLA, South Carolina, Texas, and Vanderbilt. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
LADWP urges everyone to always keep safety top of mind. If you see a downed wire, don't touch it. Stay far away and call 911 immediately. Downed wires can be deadly. Whether you're at home, work, or on the road, always assume the wire is live. Together, we can keep Los Angeles safe and powered. Learn more at ladwp.com/electric safety. You USC Visions and Voices invites you to the LA premiere of Major, an exciting new dance theater performance exploring the legacy of Majorette dance. Directed by award-winning choreographer Ogemdi Ude, Major combines music and movement to explore what it means to be proudly Black and proudly femme. Join us on Wednesday, February 4th at USC's Bovard Auditorium. Reserve your free ticket now at visionsandvoices.usc.edu. That's visionsandvoices.usc.edu.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
Let's do this. On the evening of Monday, January 26th, something special happened. Hundreds of people joined me for a live preview session on the anatomy of a great conversation, and we went deep, for starters, on the notion of curiosity. I mean, real curiosity. The kind that transforms how you connect with anyone, anywhere. We explored why most conversations fall flat, and I revealed 3 of the top 5 killers of curiosity that sabotage even the best communicators. But here's the thing, we only scratched the surface. The full 4-week journey begins Monday, February 16th with the Founding Members Cohort. This course is for podcasters, leaders, entrepreneurs, anyone who knows that your next great opportunity can begin or end with the quality of a conversation. Space in this founding cohort is limited, so go to TavishTalks.com right now. That's TavishTalks.com. Click register or scan the QR code. Don't let this conversation happen without you.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
And indeed it does. We've been talking with Dr. Melina Abdullah of Black Lives Matter Grassroots, BLM LA, and of course Cal State LA, and talking about the press conference on yesterday where they handed over I think it was 18,000 signatures or attempted to hand them over to the police chief. I think the message was received, and there was some coverage of that. So apparently the local media did pick up on it. So that's a good thing. We are having some technical difficulties at the moment, and so we will get Dr. Melina Abdullah back on the phone momentarily because there was a breaking news story that I was wanting to cover with her, that something that happened yesterday, and I'm not sure where we are because for some reason I'm not getting that information on the screen. Okay, I think we have Dr. Melina Abdullah back on. Dr. Abdullah, can you hear me at all?
Yeah, now it's clear. So I think that whatever magic Miles did worked prayerfully.
Well, hopefully it'll stay working. Miles against Cash Patel. I got my money on Miles. So tell me about what happened to you. I don't know if it was on the way to or on the way from that press conference.
Sure. So yesterday we mobilized to LAPD headquarters. We had a press conference again with dozens of organizations, with Keith Porter's family, to deliver this petition that's been signed by over 18,000 people, demanding that LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell arrest Brian Palacios, the ICE agent who killed Keith Porter. And as we wrapped the press conference and were entering the building, LAPD headquarters, to make public comment and to deliver the petition to the chief, as well as, call on the police commission to exert its oversight, I was approached by a process server, and we knew that the fake Black Lives Matter, the thieves who stole hundreds of millions of dollars in resources, our good name, our platforms, had been trying to get to me and claim that there was, claim that there was some sort of threat in that I constantly out them. And I do feel like it's a disservice to people to not say that BLK Lives Matter is fake, and that the 3 people, or now I think they're down to 2 people, who are pimping Black Lives Matter's names are doing just that, pimping Black Lives Matter's name. And Seth had a restraining order on me that I did email her twice and constantly say that she's a thief and, quote unquote, living high on the hog on the people's stolen money. Well, I'm going to keep saying it. And even if they win a restraining order, I'm still going to keep saying it, because people like my mother, people like you, people like me, have donated to Black Lives Matter, or who we thought was Black Lives Matter, and we donated so we could do work on the ground to make the flyers for Keith Porter, to make sure that people can get places when we're struggling for justice in the name of Roger Fortson, whose trial starts next week, right? The senior airman who was killed by police in Florida. That's what we donated for. We didn't donate so that Cecily Gay can have couture gowns, can travel by private jet to Africa and have a glam squad go with her and live high on the hog. That's not what we did that for. And so I'm going to keep saying it. And I think much like Donald Trump, what they're attempting to do is to intimidate us out of work. And I won't be intimidated out of work. They could always come to the right side and say, this is money that's meant for movement, and here you go. And here's money to empower movement. But instead, they're actually threatening police action. Like, if you think about what a restraining order is, even though it goes through civil court, it threatens to criminalize someone for engaging in behavior that they're seeking restraint from, that the petitioner is seeking restraint from. So this goes again to show why BLM Grassroots is the real Black Lives Matter, and BLK Lives Matter is a bunch of frauds and thieves who are shamefully living high on the hog, on the people's money that was earned, given off of the blood of our people and off of the sweat and tears and real harms that organizers have suffered by being willing to put ourselves on the line.
So now your phone went out for just a second. So that restraining order came on behalf of Cecily Gay, who is appointed by this consultant, who's the Shalomia Bowers, the main fraudster who kind of took all the money that was donated to Black Lives Matter Grassroots and, the chapters. Cecily Gay is trying to keep you away from her? Is that what the restraining order would do if she wins it? She has to go to court and a judge would have to grant that. But what are they asking?
Right. So all I see in this paperwork that I was served with yesterday is that she says that on an occasion almost 2 years ago that I came to her house and she said covered in a bandana. I don't need to do that. I don't cover in a bandana. I probably had on a mask because I'm the mask wearingest person that you know, because I don't want to get COVID or a cold or a flu, right? That we came to the house and chanted on our front yard. That absolutely happened. It wasn't just me. It was led by the mother of Quandavia Hicks saying, give us our money, right? Give us our money for the movement. And, you know, Sister Erica is one of the chapter leads of Black Lives Matter Atlanta. That did happen almost 2 years ago. But a restraining order is supposed to be about an imminent physical threat. I've never threatened anybody. I've told the truth on people. So I don't know what she's seeking to be protected of. The other incidents that she's mentioning is that I emailed her twice, which I did, because when Shalomia Bowers, the chief thief, seems to have stepped down maybe, I thought it was an opportunity for her to come into righteousness and hand over the stolen goods and return them to the movement that they were intended for. So I absolutely did both email her and text her and said, you know, this is an opportunity for you to come and do what's right. I believe in always asking for people to do what's right. And so that's what I did. And then it says that I commented on social media saying that they stole hundreds of millions of dollars, but they did. So I don't know how that's an imminent physical threat, and I don't think you can block people from telling the truth.
I mean, if you could get restraining orders on people for making comments on your social media, everyone would be restrained. So they're just trying to keep you away from her, but basically it's based on 2 emails and a protest, which is very ironic to me, because if you are supposed to be the leader of the real Black Lives Matter, why would you be worried about a protest, let alone an email? I mean, I can't even imagine what would happen if someone like that, if someone like that had their home swatted repeatedly and had, you know, was carried out of a room by cops, and, you know, some of the things that you've actually dealt with. I just can't imagine. You know, if you can't take 2 emails, how can you be the actual leader of Black Lives Matter? That doesn't make sense.
Right. And how can you serve papers in the midst of us doing the righteous work of Black Lives Matter? Serve papers that elicit a police response as we're lifting the name Keith Porter. And if people just do a scan, I'm blocked from their page. But if people do a scan of the fake Black Lives Matter page, BLK Lives Matter, you'll notice that they haven't even mentioned Keith Porter. Instead, they are sniffing after celebrities and talking about Black Play Matters. And they are, she noted this in the paperwork, that I said that she vacations in Martha's Vineyard. She does vacation in Martha's Vineyard. She is constantly on vacation in Costa Rica and fabulous places around the world. She absolutely is swimming in a Versace pool and touting what she calls Black opulence. That is not the work of Black Lives Matter, and I'm going to continue to tell the truth about it. I think that she's further exposing why those resources need to be handed over to the real movement.
So if they win the restraining order in this climate, and, you know, if you get a Trumpy judge, I mean, what would happen if you kept speaking the truth, or, you know, speaking the truth as you see it? Like, what do they do? Do they come and arrest you? I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah, I could be arrested if I violate a restraining order. Again, it's ironic and hypocritical for any Black Lives Matter or entity claiming to be Black Lives Matter to be criminalizing Black people for doing righteous work. That's hypocritical. It's disgusting. But the last protest that was carried out in December against Cecily Gay, who bought herself an award by Afrikix, she paid for hundreds of thousands of dollars to put on this fabulous event, paying influencers, paying for a venue, paying for herself to get there in blacked out SUVs. She was heavily protested, and that was not done by me. So what does Fred Hampton say? You can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution, right? You can restrain me, but you can't restrain everybody. And so I think that people are going to continue to say, especially families, but also righteous organizers that those resources belong to the movement. And even if you take me out, there's many, many others who will continue to tell the truth on Cecily Gay and the fake Black Lives Matter.
And they continue to be under federal investigation. Not that that's necessarily a good thing. We know this Trump administration could be coming after, Black Lives Matter Grassroots next. But is it possible that if the DOJ finds them, charges them and finds them guilty, they're found guilty, that those resources that were put into the movement would somehow end up in the hands of the Department of Justice or the U.S. government? Like, do you know how that works?
No. And we're asking attorneys for help with that. We did have a lawsuit that was not, we were not allowed into court. So in this restraining order filing, they say that it was dismissed, but it's very important to understand that we were blocked when they used something called an anti-SLAPP motion. So it's not that they heard evidence in the case and then that was dismissed. It's that we were prevented from presenting the evidence. And so we're prayerful, but also strategizing around how we can be first in line for resources if they are taken. We do know, again, that BLK Lives Matter, or the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, which Cecily Gay chairs, is under federal investigation. We do know that to be the case. And so if their assets are seized, we're trying to figure out how they can be transferred over. And we're hopeful that because we filed that lawsuit, that we'd be first in line for those resources so that we can, again, fund the movement and fuel the movement.
800-920-1580 if you got a question or comment. It is not too late. I'm Dominique DePrima. Dr. Melina Abdullah is my guest. I do want to get your comment on a couple of other things. Among them, the attack yesterday on Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. That and more when we continue on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project.
Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Let's do this. On the evening of Monday, January 26th, something special happened. Hundreds of people joined me for a live preview session on the anatomy of a great conversation, and we went deep, for starters, on the notion of curiosity. I mean, real curiosity. The kind that transforms how you connect with anyone, anywhere. We explored why most conversations fall flat, and I revealed 3 of the top 5 killers of curiosity that sabotage even the best communicators. But here's the thing, we only scratched the surface. The full 4-week journey begins Monday, February 16th with the Founding Members Cohort. This course is for podcasters, leaders, entrepreneurs, anyone who knows that your next great opportunity can begin or end with the quality of a conversation. Space in this Founding Cohort is limited, so go to TavishTalks.com right now. That's TavishTalks.com. Click register or scan the QR code. Don't let this conversation happen without you.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
We are. Dr. Melina Abdullah is also a political scientist, something I may have failed to mention. But, you know, when I see attacks like the attack on Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, I always think about Congresswoman Waters just because she has endured so many threats and so much of this kind of drama. How do you see this attack? And, you know, the president said, oh, she probably faked it, and clearly not calling for any kind of de-escalation.
Yeah, because he called for the escalation, right? These attacks that Ilhan Omar faces at the hands of Donald Trump, it's really important to remember that when people engage in these verbal attacks, especially a fascist like Donald Trump, who is not alone. I think that it's easy sometimes to go after just Trump, but we have to remember that there's an entire electorate that voted him in, who are following, think January 6th, right, that think that they are following him and are following him. So when he attacks Ilhan Omar, he unleashes these violent folks upon her. And so he is to blame. I'll say that. He's to blame for her attack. That we need to remember that that's what he calls for. He's a violent fascist who hates black women and somehow he's obsessed with Ilhan Omar in particular. And I'm grateful that she's safe. She is so brilliant and beautiful and steadfast and authentic in the way that she represents us. She continued to speak even after the attack. She's come out and said, I'm fine, keep doing the work. And I want to remind us also that, and I'm blessed to know her. Both we're friendly, and consider each other comrades, but our daughters are also friends. Ilhan, Congresswoman Omar, is a human being. She's a mother. She's, she's a person. And so when we think about the way that she was attacked, I love that she stands up, and I love that she's strong, and also let's surround her with prayer and safety. So community has to provide her safety.
And the reality is we don't know that she's fine because we still don't know what she was sprayed with. I hope she's fine, but, I think I would want to know what that stuff is. And I feel like the president should condemn it, but I don't expect him to. We just have a couple minutes here, but I want to at least touch on, speaking of your political science hat, the annual project called the People's Budget, which is currently live.
Yes. So this is an opportunity for everybody to weigh in on where you want your tax dollars to go. Angelinos, did you know we're spending $4 billion on LAPD that got raises, that got more money from the city budget just this week? That this is happening while every other department, it seems, is being cut, while regular city workers are being furloughed, while $300 million in payouts, mostly as a result of police misconduct, are coming from your tax dollars. If that's not what you want to have happen, or if it is, make your voice heard by filling out the People's Budget survey at peoplesbudgetla.com/survey, peoplesbudgetla.com/survey. It's being brilliantly led by Dr. David Turner of UCLA and Dr. Tabitha Jones-Jolivet of Azusa Pacific University. And so these are two scholars. We've had tens of thousands, more than 60,000 Angelinos complete that survey over the course of the years. This year, we're partnering with Ionesis Hernandez, Councilwoman Ionesis Hernandez, to be able to present the People's Budget survey to City Council, much as Council President Herb Wesson, when he was in that seat, had us present to City Council in 2020. So we look forward to presenting those results, but we need you to weigh in. Again, peoplesbudgetla.com/survey.
60 seconds here, Doc. Tell us how to follow and get those calls to action.
Sure. Please follow BLM Grassroots on all social media. BLM Grassroots is the work that we move around the world. And then for local work, especially, we got to remember Black Lives Matter Los Angeles is leading the work for Keith Porter. We're demanding justice in his name. Plug in at BLM Los Angeles on Instagram, BLM Los Angeles on Instagram, and BLM LA on X. There's several more actions this week. We have our protest today at 4 p.m. We're supporting the UCLA students with their walkout today at 2. And then on Friday, we'll be out in these streets saying ICE out of everything, and also mobilizing to the Charter Reform Commission on Saturday around police reform. So plug in, again, BLM Los Angeles, and you can tap in with me at DocMellyMel on all social media.
Well, I know we've been derelict in your duties as the president of the Prince Fan Club internationally. We'll have to touch on that more next time. But thank you so much for joining us with these important updates. And I hope you don't get a Trump judge. That's all I can say about that.
Thank you, Sister Dominique.
We're going to find out how to be more beautiful, how to take better care of ourselves, how to handle the melanin in your beautiful skin when we come forward. Dr. Paul Wallace joins us on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A man is in custody after spraying an unknown substance on Congresswoman Ilhan Omar during a Minneapolis town hall. He reportedly yelled, "You must resign," before being restrained.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem